During the Christmas break, my husband insisted that I accompany him to a class reunion. By the time we arrived at the hotel, most of the classmates were already there. The parking lot was filled with luxury cars, making our humble domestic car seem rather out of place. As we approached the entrance, I overheard some derogatory comments. "I just don't get it. Back in school, Logan was quite the big shot. How did he end up with someone like Fiona?" Although the conversation cut off abruptly, the dismissive tone was unmistakable. In the face of such provocation, my husband, who should have stood up for me, was all smiles, chatting with classmates as though I wasn't even there. After the banquet, the former campus beauty slowly approached and took my husband's hand. "Fiona, I'm quite interested in your husband. Would you let him go? You can set any condition." I laughed instead of getting angry. "You might want to rethink that. Divorcing me isn't without consequences." Had it not been for my husband's persistent persuasion, I wouldn't have bothered attending this reunion. I thought it might be nice to reconnect with people from the past, so I took a day off work to be here. Little did I expect that someone would publicly try to take my husband away during the dinner. What was even more chilling was that my husband was agreeable to it. "Oh wow, you've become quite eloquent over the years. The money is a token of appreciation for taking care of Logan all these years. Think of it as compensation. Do you really think you can threaten me with talk of jail? Do you know my standing in New York?" Just as I was about to respond, I saw my husband pulling the campus beauty into an embrace. "Ching ching, just take the money, it's better for everyone." Watching them hold hands, a cold laugh escaped me. "So, you two have been planning this for a while, huh?" Logan had been calling me repeatedly, urging me to attend today's reunion. Now I see they plan to make me publicly agree to a divorce. No wonder he hasn't been close to me since our marriage. He had someone else in mind. As soon as I finished speaking, Logan's expression changed. "What nonsense. Adeline and I are truly in love. If she hadn't been forced to study abroad back then, we'd be together now." I was utterly shocked by his words. Everyone at school knew she dumped Logan, and now it's a mutual love story? I don't know why they got back together, but at this moment, Logan is still legally my husband. I couldn't swallow this insult. "Logan, do you realize how serious infidelity in marriage is?" I spoke while looking him straight in the eye, but he couldn't meet my gaze. Then, the beauty threw herself onto him, looking pitiful, and said, "Stop with the nonsense. You're just unhappy because the money isn't enough. Name your price. I'm not short on cash." Facing such a once glamorous but now somewhat plump campus beauty, I felt like I was watching a joke. "Adeline, let me remind you, if Logan agrees to a divorce today, you both will be facing legal consequences." Before I finished, Logan anxiously said, "Stop with the scare tactics. What could you possibly do to us? Since marrying you, we barely met. Who knows what you've been up to? To be honest, if you hadn't pursued me back then, don't expect a penny. If not for his unique status, I'd have slapped him." Logan's words drew laughter from the crowd. "See? It's always said that your abilities determine your partner. A woman like Fiona, lacking background and presence, is destined to lose her husband. Right? Dressed so plainly, how dare she show up here? When it comes to wealth and influence, the Adeline family's daughter is generous with money and has strong backing." Everyone was flattering the former beauty, and no one stood up for me. To them, I was just a clown for their amusement. Such friends and reunions, better to avoid them. Ignoring their sneers, I intended to leave. But before I could stand, a hand pressed on my shoulder. "Trying to leave? Did you get my permission?" Adeline looked at me with a smug smile and disdain in her eyes. "Fiona, you have two choices today, take the money and divorce, or I'll beat you until you do. Think carefully and choose one." Hearing Adeline's words, I couldn't help but laugh. "Are you sure you want me to choose?" Adeline, still not realizing the trouble she was in, remained smug. "Of course, as long as you divorce your husband, I promise you'll have a good life afterward." Suppressing the anger within, I said slowly, "I can divorce Logan, and I don't want the money, but..." I paused deliberately. "You must first let me make a call, because the divorce isn't solely my decision." Adeline laughed heartily after hearing me. "Fiona, you really think you're someone important, don't you? Giving you the choice was a courtesy, not a negotiation. No matter who you call, you must divorce today, understand?" I detected the threat in her tone but didn't care, finding it almost amusing. I've already said, I agree to divorce Logan. But this needs approval from higher-ups, I can't decide alone. Adeline's face changed, ready to get rough, but Logan stopped her. Dear, we're magnanimous, let's not fuss over this. Let her make the call. My heart has long been set on you, nothing others say matters. Logan thought I was just stalling, looking very pleased with himself. I was about to argue back, but he continued. Fiona, don't say I didn't warn you, no matter who you call, I intend to divorce today. I believed I was a good wife to Logan after marriage. I handed over my monthly stipend without fail. He never worked or did chores, spending days shopping and playing mahjong. Despite being home only once a year, he was still unsatisfied. At this moment, my last bit of affection for him vanished completely. Logan, don't flatter yourself, I intended to persuade you, I just find it disgusting. But you and Adeline, I hope after this call, you won't regret it. Because by then, no one will be able to save you. I thought about giving her a friendly warning, but some people just don't appreciate it. Like the campus beauty, Adeline. Fiona, you're still putting on airs in front of me, who will regret it? Adeline was about to continue, but I waved my hand to stop her. Fine, your words are enough. Then, I pulled out my phone and called my leader. Hello, sir, it's Fiona. The person on the other end chuckled upon hearing my voice. Fiona? Why are you calling now? Sir, there's a situation I need to report. I briefly explained how Adeline was forcing me to divorce my husband at the reunion. As soon as I finished, I heard the sound of a glass shattering from the other end. Who's bold enough to force you into divorce? Adeline grabbed the phone. Listen up, I don't care what your relationship with Fiona is, I want her husband, and no one can stop me. You'd better mind your own business, or you'll end up in trouble too. The leader paused for a few seconds before speaking. Are you the one forcing Fiona to divorce? Adeline, still unaware of who was on the other end, was as arrogant as ever. That's right, it's me. Look around New York, anything Adeline wants, she gets. A man is nothing, he's mine, who can stop me?